Is northern light photography possible using micro four thirds? The answer is a very big yes. Yeah, the sensor might be small, but micro four thirds is more than capable enough to produce great northern light photography. You don't believe me? Check out these photos that I captured using my micro four thirds cameras and lenses while I was in Iceland. Anyway, hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to share some tips and tricks on how to capture northern light photos using micro four thirds cameras and lenses. This video is an excerpt from my travel photography course video. You can access the full tutorial by becoming a paid supporter of my Patreon. Anyway, enjoy today's video. Now, before we do that, let's start with the gear that you will need to capture aurora photos. Apart from your camera, you will need 3 items. First of all, a tripod. Obviously, we're going to do low light photography, so a tripod is a must. And then you will definitely need a wide angle lens, specifically ones with larger aperture. And also you will need a lot of extra batteries. For your tripod, because we are currently traveling, we want something that is lightweight, easy to deploy, and also sturdy enough to hold your camera together with your lens. For the lens of your camera, you want again a wide angle lens with larger aperture. In full frame terms, something between 14 to 24 mm is ideal, and you want large aperture at least f2.8. I'm using micro four thirds cameras, so for me, the focal length translates to about 7 mm all the way to 12 mm. Currently right here, I have the Panasonic Leica 9mm f1.7. It's the same exact lens that I used to capture northern light photos when I was in Iceland. If you are using micro four thirds camera system, there are some other lens options as well. Panasonic Leica 8 to 18mm f2.8 to f4. When you zoom it out all the way to 8mm, you can open up the aperture to f2.8. That is large enough. And then there's also the Olympus or OM system 7 to 14mm f2.8. That large f2.8 aperture is more than good enough. But if you don't want to spend too much money on new micro four thirds lens, you can also go with ultra budget options. There's Laowa 7.5mm f2. f2 is fantastic. It is perfect for northern light photography. And then there's also something like the Meike 8mm f2.8 or Samyang 10mm f2.8 as well. For the extra batteries, you can either get the third-party options, for example from Wasabi, or you can go with first-party option like what I do. I use Panasonic Lumix camera, so these are Panasonic Lumix batteries. I think they last longer. When you are out there doing northern light photography, it's important to keep in mind to store your extra batteries inside of your jacket's pocket so that it'll become warm from your body heat, because the cold will actually kill the battery life quickly, so you want to keep the batteries as warm as possible. Next, let's talk about preparation, which I think is the most important part of this video. There are 2 things that you want to prepare. First is the aurora forecast, and the other one is weather forecast. For aurora forecast, when I was in Iceland, the website that I go to is auroraforecast.is. I want to make sure to check the KP index and also the sun activity. Everything is laid out perfectly in the website, and when there's possibility of northern light in the evening, they will tell you on the website. Next thing, you want to check the weather, because if it's cloudy, if the sky is covered, then you cannot really see the northern light. It has to be clear sky, it has to be free from the clouds in order for the northern light to be visible. Next thing to prepare is clothing. When you're doing northern light photography, you're going to be out there in the evening in cold weather, standing for hours waiting, or even watching the northern light show in the sky. It's going to be cold, it's going to be freezing, so you want to dress comfortably warm. My tip is to make sure that you're not only wearing a warm jacket, but you also wear an insulating layer. Something like a puffer jacket will do the trick, or maybe a nice warm sweater underneath your jacket, and also a warm base layer as well. Next thing to prepare is the location. You want to find a nice dark location where you can easily see the northern light with both your eyes and also your cameras. It doesn't have to be hours away from the city, just somewhere nice and dark where there are lots of street lights and car passing by is more than enough. You don't want any stray lights to enter into your photo because that will ruin the shot. And that's why I think it's very important to scout the location beforehand. So in the afternoon before sunset, try to get to know the location first. Make sure, again, there are no street lights, there are lots of cars passing by. And then what you want to do is practice your composition first before the aurora shows up, so that when the aurora finally comes out, you already get an understanding about how to frame your compositions and try to make sure that you'll get the best shot possible. And speaking about composition, you want to treat northern light or aurora almost like an interesting cloud in the sky. You cannot really photograph northern light by itself without context because it won't look that interesting. Just some green dancing lights on the sky, that's not gonna be good enough. You wanna still add some interesting elements into your photo, and most importantly, point of interest. For example, you want to include some cityscape or maybe mountain, so it's almost like a landscape photograph, or a lake, or an interesting tree, or any other interesting stationary object as your foreground and point of interest. Now let's talk about camera setting. First of all, exposure setting. You want to set your camera to full manual so you have control of everything. Let's begin with shutter speed. You want at least 1 second as a starting point. Aperture, as large as you can. If your lens maximum aperture is f2.8, open it up at f2.8. Mine can open up to f1.7, so I'm going to use f1.7. ISO, let's start with 1600. This is your base setting. Generally, it worked well for my particular northern light photography. However, adjust as needed. For example, if it's too dark, then make the shutter speed slower, probably 2 seconds, or increase the ISO to 3200. If it's too bright, maybe reduce the ISO to 800 or 400, something like that. Now, to avoid any kind of movement blur caused by your hands touching the shutter button when you're taking pictures of northern light, ideally you want a remote trigger. But in my case, I prefer to use the 2 seconds timer on my camera. So when I press the shutter button, the camera will wait for 2 seconds until it takes picture. That is an effective way to reduce chance of movement blur in your shots. Now, if you are traveling together with maybe family members or your friends, inevitably you might want to try to photograph the northern light together with some people. And when you do that, I think it's a good idea to increase your shutter speed to at least about half a second, because even when people try their best to stay still for 1 second, they will still breathe. There will be some movement caused maybe from the winds or their tense muscle or something like that, and they will be blurry in the photo. So yeah, at least half a second, and tell people to try their best to hold their breath and try to stand still. So to do that, either you use a lens with even larger aperture so you can get extra stops of light, or use a higher ISO. Anyway, always keep your eye on the sky because the aurora can spawn in different directions and you want to adjust your composition and be prepared for that. Anyway, have fun photographing northern light. I hope that you will capture a good one. And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for my tips and tricks of capturing northern light using Micro Four Thirds camera. Hopefully this video has been interesting, entertaining, and also informative. But enough about me. What about you guys? Share your stories about capturing northern light, or maybe astrophotography or low light landscape, that kind of stuff, in the comments down below. I'd love to read from your stories and let's have a little bit of a chat together. Anyway, don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel down below. And again, if you want to watch the full tutorial video, it's about 1 hour long. You can join my Patreon membership with the link right here. And not only you'll get access to this travel photography course video, you'll also get access to other stuff. For example, my Lightroom presets, and also to my photos. You can download them and use them as your phone's background or desktop wallpaper, and some other exclusive contents that aren't available anywhere else. It'll be another way for you to support my channel, especially in this economy. Also, don't forget to use the affiliate links down below. You will get some discounts on select products or services, while I get a small incentive to keep the channel running. Thank you, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Goodbye.